Well, happy weekend once again, Texas Values supporters. This is your Texas Values policy team welcoming you to the second Friday session update of 2025. I'm Jonathan Covey. I'm the Director of Policy at Texas Values. And joining me is Mary Elizabeth Castle, our Director of Government Relations, and Megan Benton, our Strategic Policy Associate. And the big news out this week at the Texas Legislature is that the Texas House Speaker's Office announced the assignments for standing committees and subcommittees in the Texas House. And the truth is, as would be expected, some folks were rewarded for loyalty to the speaker and some received less than desirable positions. But you can check out all of the committee appointments on the Texas House website at house.texas.gov, and we'll let you decide for yourself how you think committees turned out. But for those who are less familiar with the process, this is the point in session where the rubber really meets the road. And it's none too soon either. So why do I say that? Because I say that because of House Rule 8, Section 7. And this is a special rule that the legislature has to live by. And it says that bills can only be filed during the first 60 days of regular session. After the 60th day of session, no more bills can be filed. You're done. No more bills. And that 60th day of session is on March 14th of this year, which means that the legislators have exactly 28 days left to file the bills. Otherwise, they'll have to wait another 2 years. So there's obviously a lot of pressure, and it's important to understand that the legislative process is an anachronism of the digital world. It depends completely on physical documents going from one place to another place through the process. It's somewhat slow. It's definitely cumbersome, and 28 days is not a lot of time to get things done. So speaking of filing bills, we told you a couple of weeks ago about one of our priority pieces of legislation on medical conscience protections for doctors and healthcare providers. So we're actually really excited to relay to you today that the bill on that issue has been filed. So you can go to Texas Legislature Online and you can check out House Bill 2816 by Dr. Tom Oliverson. And what this does is it just makes sure that doctors have the religious freedom to decline to take part in things like abortions, gender transition surgeries, sterilizations, and pretty much any other treatment that goes against a doctor's beliefs. So it's protecting the religious freedom of doctors and healthcare providers and nurses of all types. And we think this is going to be a really great and exciting bill to see as it goes through the process. But other bills continue to be filed related to the issues that our supporters care about. And Megan Benton is with us. Megan, tell us a little bit about some of the other bills that we are actively watching this session.
Yeah, well, those are all great bills that you just discussed, but I want to talk about some bills that we're going to be actively opposing. So last session, you probably remember that we were pretty active on the issue of gambling and sports betting. And unfortunately, that's an issue that we're going to have to be active in again this year as well. We now have bills that have been filed to legalize sports betting as well as casinos in the state of Texas. And you might be familiar with the background to this, but it's actually illegal according to the Texas Constitution to have gambling in the state of Texas. And so in order to legalize it here, we would actually have to pass an amendment to the Texas Constitution. So the Texas Values team is going to be actively opposing this because of all of the harmful effects that gambling has on Texans. But on a much brighter note, take out a pen and mark your calendars because March 6th is Faith and Family Day. This is a day for the entire family to come to the Capitol to be with the Texas Values team and get to hear from great speakers and legislators on issues of faith and family. And not only that, but tickets are only $5. You can get them at texasfaithandfamily.com. That's the website that we've set up specifically for this event. And you'll find out that with your ticket, you get free Chick-fil-A. It's complimentary, it comes with the ticket. It's just an added benefit of getting to come to Texas Faith and Family Day. These tickets are only $5 and it's good for the entire family. So one ticket per person, but this is an event for everybody from elementary school to high school to parents and even grandparents should be coming to this event. This is really an event for anyone that wants to be educated about what's going on at the Texas Capitol, as well as get activated to do something about it. So sign up today, reserve your tickets, and we hope to see you there.
Thanks, Megan. Yeah, and get in quickly because we are having folks register for Faith and Family Day. Mary Elizabeth, seems like we've got some momentum going on the federal level as well.
Absolutely. So it's always good to see that when we pass laws at the state legislature, that even years after they've been passed and signed into law, that they have some effect, even after the fact. And you may have seen the exciting news last week that President Donald Trump did sign an executive order to keep men out of women's sports. This is a huge step for women's sports all across the country. And yes, we have our laws in Texas to protect our female athletes, but it's great to know that whenever they go to a different state to compete at a championship, that they're protected and that women in other states are protected as well and can enjoy some of the victory and fairness that our Texas girls and women are able to enjoy as well. So that was very exciting news to see Riley Gaines and Macy Petty and so many of our friends be able to stand behind the president as he signed that executive order, which is a huge step for that administration, showing that our policies related to education at the national federal level going in the right direction. So many good things on that. But just a reminder too of why we work really hard at the state level for our legislation, because this executive order, as most of you may understand or know, only deals with federal funding and is tied to federal funds. So let's say we didn't have our Save Girls Sports Law by Representative Valerie Swanson or Save Women's Sports Law by Senator Mays Middleton. If we didn't have those laws, then, you know, these things would be very difficult to enforce and have some effect on our state. So we're very thankful for our past efforts on this issue, for the sports issue. And besides the good news, we sometimes have bad news related to state laws that are passed. So recently, Attorney General Kim Paxton did have to launch an investigation on 4 school districts because it's possible that they have either violated or are attempting to violate the Save Girls Sports Law, HB 23, allowing boys to compete in girls' sports in those 4 school districts. So we're very thankful that there's an official investigation of that, but just a reminder of why we need to continue to enforce the laws that we pass at the state legislature. The UIL adopted the rules from that law, the Save Girls Sports Law, and the UIL is committed to making sure that it's enforced. So we need to make sure that all of our school districts are enforcing that law. If you ever hear of any type of violation or issue, please email us at enforcement@txvalues.org. And if you want to learn more about these laws, just so you can become knowledgeable, also visit SaveWomenSportsTexas.com. But that being said, the issue isn't really over in this state legislative session. We are going to continue the issue of protecting women and girls, not just in sports, but in all areas. A lot of people will ask, well, doesn't the Save Women's Sports Law cover locker rooms as well? Whenever they hear Riley Gaines talk about the locker room issue, unfortunately, the answer is no. So the issue of a man being in a woman's locker room, a man being in a woman's prison, a man even being in a woman's domestic violence abuse shelter, those things are still allowed and still occurring even in the state of Texas. So we want to make sure we have laws that protect women's spaces and protect women's privacy. And so we'll be working on legislation. That's one of our top priorities this session, to have laws passed on that issue. And something that may not seem necessary, but it actually is necessary, thanks to the recent Biden administration that tried to redefine reality, a law that actually defines man and woman in state law. And to just answer the question, what is a woman? That seemed for 4 years to be a very prominent question in our society and public policy, but only the real ones can answer. And so we're looking to pass both of those bills. We think they're very important, and we are in a society where everyone realizes this is common sense. So we feel very confident that these will be things that we can all agree on as grassroots and as Texans. But if you want to learn more, if you want to be active, be sure to follow us. Sign up for our emails, sign up for our text alerts, because you will be getting valuable information of when to show up to the Capitol to testify. And also, if you want to write in, not all of you can travel to Austin. We hope you can travel on the 6th, because that'll be a very important day. But if there's ever a hearing, you can always message your legislators, you can write them, you can submit comments to the committee hearing. And we'll be explaining all of these things later at our Legislative 101 and 102 that we'll have later sometime soon. And so you want to make sure you're up to date on all these things so you can find out everything that's happening, not just with Texas values, but with the Texas legislature and how you can get involved.
And that closes out our Friday update. Remember, if you want to stay up to date with breaking news and information, check out our website, and you can email our info email. And that's how together we will continue to make a difference for faith, family, and freedom in the state of Texas. Thanks for joining us.